Alright guys, welcome to the channel. Let me show that off. Alright, welcome to the channel. So I've been requested to teach a few things, but I'm gonna start with one thing. So I'm going to teach you how I set up my recording in FL Studio. Now, if you may have noticed in the beginning, whoops, wrong one, I pretty much have it set up. Now you're gonna wonder why. Why does it look like that? I'll tell you why. And I'm going to show you how to do it from the beginning. So, let's show you real quick. So, you see all these are tracks, right? Cool. So, all these tracks are linked to all the inserts in the mixer. This brown one is where you normally record, or you could just record in between them, right? So, you record, bring it up here, or bring it to any one of these, right? So, that's how it be. Sorry about that. So you record and put it on one of these. Simple enough, right? So I'm going to show you how to do this from scratch. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning. We're not saving that. So boom, here we go. Now normally how I start, I go ahead and go to track 1, which is going to be linked to insert 1. But I'll show you how to do it without even having to be in here. Or what we can do is we could set it up in here. But let's start with something else first before we do that. So what I normally do is I right click, go to rename color icon, and I type in beat. Whoops. I type in beat. Then I go over here, change the color. Normally, depending on if you're starting FL or you just never use colors, which is crazy, these would be highlighted like this. So what you do is you take those off and then just slowly drop down the color. I normally drop the beats color to black because it's different from everything else. So why not? So boom, there you go, right? So normally what I do next is I leave the track 2 blank and then go to 3. So now what I'm gonna do at 3 is I'm going to right click, and then here's something that they brought in FL25. I don't know if it was in 24, but it don't matter. It's still a good idea. So what they have is you could pretty much link the track and the insert from the mixer in the same thing. So I'm gonna go to insert 1. Cool, right? Nice. So insert 1 is there, so you could double click and it's right there. But where I messed up at is I messed up here. So I normally turn the beats project, well, like the beats track, I normally turn that into something as well. So we're going to do that. So that's going to be insert 1, boom. So now when I click on that, it's already here. So now that that's already done, I'm going to exit out of that and start here again. So with insert 1, I'm going to double click on this again. It's going to pop up here. It has no color, but that's fine. What we're going to do is I have a mix that I've already done. I don't know how long I've had this mix, maybe a couple years now, but I'm going to use this as reference to show you how I set up the recording process, just to make it easy for you. Because essentially this setup is like Pro Tools and Studio One, maybe Logic, depending on how people set it up in there, right? So boom, I have this, right? So I add it. So now it's here. So when I change the name here or change the color here, it changes here as well. So they're linked together. So let's change that. We're going to call this main vocals. Boom. So now what we're going to do is we are going to copy this. So good thing about FL, you can copy pretty much anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click, and before you even get to the bottom, you're going to see insert 1, clone, and delete. We don't need delete because that means we'll be starting all over again. So we're going to clone it. And then this menu going to pop up. So you're going to take off patterns. You're going to take off audio clips, depending on if you want to copy the audio clips when you're recording or when you have recorded them. And then we're going to take off automation. We're going to keep effects, and then we're going to group tracks. So boom, when you double click on this, it's going to be right next to it, right? Hit escape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of this. So we're going to change this to dubs/adlibs. Why? Because you never know what you're going to put next. So normally a lot of the people I record, it's usually main vocals, regardless if it's just a hook and the verses all the way through, and then the ad-libs all the way through, or maybe doubles all the way through. Or in some places they call it highlights. At least I know where I'm from, we call it highlights because that's, emphasis, whatever. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to clone dubs and ad-libs. So boom, we do that one more time. Take off these 3, keep 4, add 6. Now, almost lost count there. So boom, now we have this, right? And as I said before, look, we have all 3 here. Damn. Everything keep ringing. So we're going to exit out of that and see, now that we have these, here's the cool trick about the cloning process. You can clone again, and there you go. Actually, we don't even need to group that. See, we just press OK. And then guess what we could do now? We right click, since all 3 of these are going to be highlighted. Boom, 3 of them highlighted, right click, and then go all the way to the bottom, move down. So boom, now we have a gap between everything. And what's also good, we could change the colors. So now let's go, I don't know. Let's do a funky color, right? So we're going to do that. Since that's already done, boom, we're going to do that. Hit enter, and there you go. So now we have these right here. So you don't necessarily, in the mixer, you don't have to space them out because chances are you're going to be using them elsewhere, so it is what it is. So there you go. Now what we do is we'll do the same thing again. We're going to copy it, well, clone it. So take those 3 off, keep 4 effects. So boom, we do that. Move down, make sure you right click, move down, and make sure they're all highlighted. So whatever you need whatever you want to clone, always make sure this is right there. So boom, we move that down. Then let's go ahead and change the colors again. I'm gonna change this to blue, because why not? So boom, there you have it. Let me crunch this down. Look, there you go. And you can continuously do that, or if you want, so say you record something and you want it to kind of be different. So say like, you know how like certain rappers punch in, right? So what you would do is it'd be a main vocal. So you do that, clone it. Or if you want, you could just add it here, depending on how many ad libs, just depending on how many tracks you need. But the good thing about it is everything will have effects on it. So you're not having to go back here to copy this, to copy, you know what I'm saying? Just to go here, click here, do that. No, you clone it, just add it to it, and you're done. And it's going to already be next to it. As long as you do what I said, which is clone and make sure it's grouped to tracks. So that means they'll stay within the parameters of where the other ones are, or whatever color you got lined up. So boom, right? So this is what I normally do, right? The beat is here. Let me see if I can find a beat, right? Let's go here. I already got a beat that I can load right up. Here you go, right? So now I'm going to set the tempo because that's usually how my beats are made. So everything is essentially on time. Right? So that's how I would do it. So here's the next step in which I'm going to show you the recording process, far as like just the drag and drop feature. So, okay, so you notice that I have blank spots here, right? Cool. How am I going to use these? A lot of the times, what I do, so say this, you could either record from the top or you could record at the bottoms. It don't really matter. Just pick a spot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click, go to track mode, go to audio track, and then you can pick any one of these, or you could just add a new track. It really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert 12, change, I could change this recording. I don't know why I did that. Recording, right? Then I could change the color to something nice. Boom. So normally what you do if you want to activate the mic, assuming you have your audio interface pretty much plugged in. So I'd change it, but the thing is I'm using my mic for OBS. So you mainly change your mic here depending on your interface. That's a story for another day. But point is, what you'll do is you click this one right here, this little logo right here. It says input source. So you do that, change it to whatever one, and then you'll hit ARM recording. So if you notice everything at the top panel of it, or this little hidden or hint panel up here, this is essentially what you're going to be looking at, just in case you're lost. So you hit that, and then you'll instantly be recording. But the thing is, you have to hit this button up top to make sure you actually really record. This is just to arm the mic. This is to actually record. So normally, if you're new to FL Studio, this will pop up. So what I do is I hit don't ask this in the future and hit everything. So when I'm ready, the mic will pop up. See, if you notice that it's recording. Well, let me change the color so you can see it. Right? So essentially, this is how you record. But one other thing I'm going to show you is how the audio is going to sound with the mix that I have. So I need to find something that has audio. Here we go. That is not a good one. Whoops. Here we go. This looks good. Take that off. If this actually, sometimes you don't really need to do this, but I usually turn this off just in case. So we'll do that. So all right, so we've recorded something, right?
And another one.
Let me turn that down.
And another one.
All right, so you see how this doesn't really.
And another one.
This doesn't sound that good, at least to me. So now what you would do is, so say you recorded something, you would just take it, bring it up here.
And another one.
It's still a little loud. I forgot the original one I was using, but you get the point. So it's just record, go up here, done. That's it. Just drag, just record, drag, record, drag, record, drag. That's essentially how you would do the whole track. It's simple, it's easy. It's not it's not too bad, but it makes your workflow a little swifter. Once you get used to it, it's like recording in any other program, at least in my opinion, because this just helps. So, with that being said, if people want this setup, let me know. I can get this to you. I can give you the template. I can give you the mix, all that. I could do all that. So that's it for the tutorial. Yeah, I'm done. Bye.